Joining us now, Congresswoman Ashley Hinson from House Budget, along with former White House Council of Economic Advisors Acting Chair Tomas Philipson. First to you, Congresswoman. It's good to have you both on the show. Thanks for spending time with us. What policies could they possibly pivot to? And what is the range of options that Jen Psaki is talking about with energy prices that they claim?
Well, the answer is very clear here. We need to be focused on domestic energy production, and this administration from day one put up every single roadblock to making that happen, instead doubling down on climate change policies that the American people don't need or want right now. And the American people are literally paying the price for the agenda coming out of the Biden administration and Speaker Pelosi's office. They're paying it at the grocery store. They're paying it when they fill up their gas tanks. I know when I filled up my minivan last weekend, it was over $80. I mean, you look at what that's costing the family that's trying to put food on the table. They're hoping to get a raise at work. That's not covering their costs. They are literally paying the price for the failures of this administration.
You know what it feels like, Thomas, at the White House, everybody in there, they have a paper bag on their head and they're standing in the middle of the room just talking. And we're supposed to believe what they say. Oh, we created 7 million jobs. That was after Democrat-led shutdowns destroyed 22 million jobs. The 7 million really comes from the economy opening up. And we've got, you look at Quinnipiac, you look at Gallup polls, Thomas. We're seeing Americans are saying, get out of your bubble, White House. Stop with the bubble talk. Consumer prices are a staggering 8.5% rise the last 12 months. And now Senator Chuck Schumer, he's saying the fix to inflation is raise everyone's taxes. Really?
Yeah, I think we would have been a lot better off if they'd done nothing, put it that way. What typically happens in a business cycle, such as we saw with the COVID recession, is that you bounce back very hard or very quickly when you have a really deep recession or a sort of downturn. So that every country in developed country did that. So that has nothing to do with the Biden administration. The hard part now comes where you basically need to stimulate growth. And what the Biden administration's agenda is to basically send out a lot of money and bash business. And that's in economic terms, stimulating demand and cutting back supply. When you do both those things, you increase prices, unfortunately. And both those things have sort of an ambiguous effect on output, which is what real GDP is that we showed today is dropping. Yeah,
you know, Congresswoman, the polls for the Democrats and for the president, they're so far underwater, they need scuba gear to get out. You look at 76% telling Gallup the economy's getting worse. Quinnipiac, inflation is a top concern. Now Nancy Pelosi and Chuck Schumer today are saying we're going to sick the FTC on the oil and gas guys. Congresswoman, I feel like we're back to 2010. Obama threw thunderbolts at oil and gas for gouging and claiming profiteering. Let's listen to this. Watch.
Do you think that the public is blaming Democrats or will continue to blame Democrats on gas?
I don't think the public is blaming Democrats. I think they're blaming the oil companies.
But they won't take that out on your side on the midterms even if you pass this bill and prices don't get better.
No,
or the perception is that things are better.
I don't think what you say is making very much sense. If the Republicans stand in the way of us freeing the consumer of the stranglehold of big oil, you think they're going to blame that on the Democrats? You think that?
Oh, what's the Republican stranglehold on oil?
Yeah. It's absolute nonsense, and I think the American people are seeing right through that. That's exactly why you're seeing the poll numbers where they are. It's because the American people realize that these policies are causing the shrinking economy. They're causing the rampant inflation. It's a predictable result when you put America last, when you put up all these roadblocks to American energy independence and American freedom, right? Americans are ready to take their lives back, and we want to hold someone accountable, and we're trying to do that every single day here in Washington, D.C., holding the Biden administration accountable. I want to remind everyone, when they're having breakfast, when they're sitting down to eat their bacon and their eggs and drink their glass of milk, that breakfast costs more because of President Biden's policies. And that's something that Americans are talking about their kitchen tables every day. You talk about putting the bags over their heads in these back rooms. I mean, that's what Americans feel. And that's exactly
Thomas,
what's being
here's the thing.
felt in the polls.
Yeah, the Democrat-led shutdowns, right? That disrupted the supply chain. We know that war has disrupted the supply chain, too. But when those shutdowns happen, and when we already had problems with China in the pandemic, right? And our supply chains got rocked. When they did those shutdowns, and then the answer was throw more money out the door. At least 13 states now, including California, New Jersey, New York, Illinois, they're planning to use tens of billions of dollars in taxpayer COVID relief funds to teach critical race theory, Thomas. We reported 2 months ago hundreds of millions of dollars in pork for a luxury hotel in Florida, a minor league baseball stadium in New York. You know what I mean? So this idea that their only policy idea on their shelf is to flip a switch on our money, that's what's going on.
Yeah, I mean, the inflation is clearly policy-induced, including the energy inflation, which is not a pre or post-Putin, because the Putin invasion is also policy-induced. It's just a foreign policy that's taken place that's misguided. We had invasions during Obama and Biden, but we didn't have them under Trump. So common sense would tell you that Trump did something right. And the increase in energy costs now is completely either a foreign policy failure or a fiscal and monetary policy failure.
Congresswoman Hinson and Tomas Philipson, thanks for spending time with us. Come back soon.